Previously on Back of the Backlog.
Here's the contract you've been waiting for.
Can you sign it for me? See? Now, this isn't so hard, is it?
Glad you could join me in this dream. I still don't quite like the decision you made.
One thing you shouldn't do is hold grudges. You should play that game Kameo, Elements of Power.
Could work. Kameo, Elements of Power. Back of the Backlog. It could work.
Well, you want to play Uno or something?
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna play Uno with you. You're just gonna cheat again.
Cheat? Well, are we gonna play or what?
The hell are you laughing about? I'm being serious. You literally cheat every time we play.
I do not at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. You're always like this.
What? Are you serious right now?
Of course I'm being serious. You literally do that every time.
I don't know where this is coming from.
You lie in real life all the time. Everything we do.
I'm sorry, I'm not exactly sure.
Everything you do in life is wrong. Everything. Every fucking time you look at me, it pisses me off, to be honest.
I'm not exactly sure where this is coming from.
This is coming for the past few months. You pissed me off so much, you green fucking bitch. You're a goddamn failure of a person. A failure. You're a fucking alien. No one likes you. Look at you. Fucking trash. Makes me sad.
Tucker!
I'm sorry your family's fucking happy that they're dead so they don't have to see your fucking green ass anymore.
Tucker!
What?
Relax.
I was just pre-game trash talking.
I don't even really want to play anymore.
I'm back at the backlog. Been gone for way too long. I'm back at the backlog. Got so many games to play, dog. I'm back at the backlog. Donkey Kong expands my dome. I'm back at the backlog. Me and Kylo been fucking since dawn. I'm back at the backlog. Did you know, yeah, Kylo wears thongs? I'm back at the backlog. I really fucking hate this song. Yeah.
Hello? Not now. I'm busy. Not now. Hello?
What is up, guys? It is Robert of Gaming with me, and welcome to the 17th episode of Back at the Backlog, the series where we take a look at the games that have recently beat off my backlog. Today's episode is on the game Kameo, Elements of Power on Rare Replay. Admittedly, I had no clue as to how Kameo even plays. I picked up Rare Replay back in 2015, and I saw its colorful visuals and thought, yeah, I'll play that one day. Well, that day finally came 5 years after, and I could finally say that I have finished Kameo, Elements of Power. Only a few episodes ago, I actually finished my first game on this Rare Replay collection, which was Perfect Dark Zero. So it was pretty funny to return to it so soon, but with a different franchise. Although I'm not so sure you could call Kameo a franchise, as it never even got a sequel. More on that later, though. Kameo, Elements of Power, and Perfect Dark Zero actually share two things in common. For one, Kameo had a really long development cycle, longer than Zero's. Kameo started development on the Nintendo 64, then it was actually moved over to the Nintendo GameCube, and it was worked on there for multiple years. Then of course came the Microsoft purchase for Rare, which all of a sudden brings it to the original Xbox, and then after that they said, no, let's bring it to the Xbox 360, where it became a launch title. Yes, that's the other thing they have in common. They were both launch titles for the Xbox 360, which is pretty impressive for Rare. Many things changed over this 5-year development cycle, but one thing they had no control over was the Xbox's player base. Creative director George Andreas thought the entire game should have been scrapped and just start all over again. Yeah, that's pretty damn harsh. Why though? He says it was a game with a fairy for an audience that likes shooting and killing things. He's not wrong. The Xbox fanbase heavily consists of people who really only pick up shooters, especially back in the Xbox 360 era. In the past couple of years though, it looks like Microsoft is really trying to change that image with games like Ori, Cuphead, and Tell Me Why, and a lot more, which is really nice. It's great because I want developers to create their own vision and not feel like they have to change something to just fit an apparent audience. Also, they really tried to rewrite Kameo as an elf and not a fairy, but you aren't tricking anybody, Rare. That's clearly a fairy. Kameo Elements of Power was released on November 22nd, 2005. It was developed by Rare and published by Microsoft Game Studios. Wait, no, it was released on November 15th, 2005. Wait, November 7th, 2005? Why does no one know the actual release date to this game? Apparently, Kameo came out before the launch of the 360. Yeah, you could pick up Kameo by at least November 9th? Fucking hell, these dates. So you could own the game, but not play it for at least 2 weeks until the actual console came out. That's really weird, but whatever. Was the long development cycle and having to wait 2 weeks to even play the actual game even worth it? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the story first. Kameo is given the element of power, which pisses off her sister Kalus so much that she kidnaps the family and wakes up this huge evil troll named Thorn and starts a massive war between elves and trolls. Kameo starts at a castle attempting to save her family, but the attempt was a failure. She gets knocked out by the villain Thorn so hard that her elemental warriors leave her spirit. The whole objective is to collect every elemental warrior back and stop Kalus and Thorn once and for all.
So you could punch elemental warriors out of somebody?
According to the story, I guess so.
In battle, you'd be constantly losing them bastards.
For real, honestly, it's bullshit. I'd be pissed. Visually, Kameo Elements of Power is solid. Some areas look really nice, others not so much, but for the most part the art style is fine. Nothing that truly stands out as impressive or even that memorable, but works while you're playing. It still takes place in a cool fantasy world, especially something like the hub world. There's a solid hub world that you start in at the beginning of the game, and it's probably the best looking area. Tall grass and flowers everywhere, a bunch of different characters roaming around. Don't enjoy it too much though, because you are rarely sent back to this area the whole journey, which I found to be odd. Instead, you are consistently sent to the Badlands, an area where an all-out war, elves versus trolls, are taking place. Now this is an awesome area because it is constantly changing over time. After collecting elemental warriors from whatever area, the war over in the Badlands will change, and Kameo will have to help out the army by completing a task using one of the new abilities that she retrieved. The Badlands features hundreds of trolls. It was impressive seeing how many were on screen at once. To pass by this massive landscape and army, Kameo can ride a horse that just absolutely annihilates anyone in the way. It is great. The music in this area is epic too, and I even call myself humming it at times. Even though Kameo is in the name of the game, the real stars of the show are the elemental warriors. Over the journey, you collect 10 of them. Each of them are in need of saving from a shadow monster in different locations around the world. These shadow monsters are always tucked away in this shadow realm. It's essentially mini boss fights to save the elemental warriors. Unfortunately, there's never a major change for these shadow realm areas. They are always set up like an arena, and the shadow monster is always the same boss. The design never changes. Only thing that changes is that the shadow monster will add on a few new moves every visit, but it's not that tough to handle. This is because you can't actually change into an elemental warrior in the shadow realm, which means you have a very limited moveset when playing as Kameo. All Kameo can really do as a fighter is a backflip kick. For being the main character, she unfortunately relies heavily on the elemental warriors to become any sort of threat to any enemies. I do like the animation of collecting a new warrior. They are all just innocent babies, but when absorbing them, they transform into the badasses they once were.
Isn't that what all of us start out as little babies, but grow up to be big badasses we are now?
You consider yourself a big badass?
Of course. Don't you?
No, not really. I consider myself to be a small, nice ass. With that, you can transform into said elemental warrior and gain new abilities to use in the land. You can map up the 3 warriors, one to each of your X, Y, and B buttons. It's a lot of fun quickly switching between warriors on the fly for when you need a specific attack or ability. Having every warrior truly feels like an upgrade in abilities. Although, with there being 10, for the most part, you'll rotate between maybe 4 of them. It would be nice to have a reason to use all of them more often outside of something like temples. There are temples scattered in each of the areas with elemental warriors. You could compare it to something like a Zelda game, but not nearly as puzzle based, and not even close to the scale of those. And unfortunately, not every single temple is a winner. There's only like 4 temples, and with one of them being an absolute pain, makes for really only 3 solid ones. The water temple is just bad. The controls on the warrior Deep Blue is incredibly clunky, and unfortunately you have to use him for majority of the area. The boss of the temple is a real pain in the ass too. It's a cool looking boss that floats in the sky. You gotta use the warrior Major Ruin to roll into a ball and roll into these bombs to the boss. That shouldn't be tough, but it's like the physics of the bombs are so random and will just go anywhere they want instead of just straight. Even when you do hit the boss, you gotta go underwater as Deep Blue and shoot at its weak points. The problem with that is you gotta control Deep Blue and he's clunky as hell. This ends up being an entire section that is just clunky and frustrating in an otherwise pretty fun experience. Each world was pretty fun to explore, and having different creatures to change up that playstyle really added to that fun factor. There are some really cool little details you could actually see, like for example, Kameo inside of the Elemental Warriors. It's like Kameo's controlling mechs in these different positions. The designs for the Elemental Warriors are also pretty cool. From the designs, you could pretty much tell how they'll play and feel. The character designs in general for this game are interesting. Some I really like these funny looking squid guys. You could even backflip and kick them, and funnily enough, they'll eventually have enough of it and hit you too, and pretty brutally if I must say. I must have triggered a glitch where they kept hitting each other and eventually hitting me and killing me. Yeah, those squids are no joke apparently. There's this other NPC that I thought was hilarious on how he was talking, and so I did what any normal person would do and spammed the talk button for a minute.
Not now. Hello, I'm busy. Not now. Hello, I'm busy. I'm busy. Not now. Hello, not now. I'm busy.
Some character designs are pretty ugly though, not gonna lie, like this thing. Like I get it, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but nah, this thing, fuck ugly. I'm sorry, this thing just, I mean what the fuck is it? Kameo is a well-designed character. She also looks unique with the whole fairy tribal take. She also is admittedly, well, let's just say she made the list, you know what I'm saying? There's also a lot of cool costumes for Kameo, and every single warrior. There's even a costume that has Kameo dressed as Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark Zero. And, let's just say she wears it better if you know what I'm saying. The list, boys and girls! The list! The game is also surprisingly very hand-holding. The pause menu is a literal book that tells you what to do next, and if you are at all stuck for like 30 seconds, the fucking book keeps reminding you he's there to help. I did use it occasionally, but for the most part you definitely don't need it, so I'm surprised to see it on by default.
I constantly check that book.
Really? You got stuck a lot?
Oh no, not really. I just wanted to see that guy's face. It was so funny.
Alright, I don't see what's so funny about it.
Come on, the beard, the eyes. Just thinking about it now.
What kind of laugh is that? Yo, the hell? I'm now going to talk about the final level of the game just to let you know. The final level takes you on top of Thorn's airship. It's a cool level where you destroy sections of the airship piece by piece, utilizing a bunch of the warrior's abilities. At the end, you finally reach Thorn, and it's the moment you've been waiting for. The reason you've collected every warrior. The reason you've traveled the Badlands. Only you could stop the war. It's underwhelming. Not only is Thorn just a generic big green guy, but the fight itself is just tedious. Not only does he do one of the biggest sins in gaming in my mind, which is a boss bringing more enemies to battle, especially the final boss, but it's just unexciting. He performs 3 attacks. He jumps and slams to the ground, causing lightning lines in the ground. He runs at you, and in the last half of his health, he swings a spiked ball while walking, which makes it so hard to even get hit by him. It's so easy to take him out using the warrior Thermite, a small fire ant that holds a massive cannon. With Thermite, you could just spam his cannon to slowly deal damage and kill him. The whole fight is 10 minutes of spamming the cannon. I think you could see how it can be very tedious. Once Thorn is down, Kalus tries to revive Thorn, and at that point you just gotta use Chilla, this Yeti creature, to shoot her 10 times and then the fight ends. It's a damn shame that the final boss wasn't good. It could have been so much more by forcing you to constantly switch up your elemental warriors, keeping you on edge and having the fight be more intense and less tedious. Regardless, Kalus realizes she was being tricked and being fucking stupid, so she sacrifices herself by kissing Thorn and turns Thorn and herself into stone and drops into the ocean. Airship blows up. Everyone is celebrating. The war is over. Everybody already forgot about Kalus. The music is genuinely awesome and epic. Then the credits roll. Well, that was Kameo Elements of Power. I had fun with it, I really did. Yes, I do have my issues with it, like the water temple, the final boss, and honestly just a better use for all of the elemental warriors, but for the most part, I was having fun. This is way better than Perfect Dark Zero. It's not even close, like this is an actual good game. I feel bad for all the people that picked up Perfect Dark Zero on the launch of the Xbox 360 and not Kameo. Speaking of the Xbox 360's launch, this isn't the last launch title we'll be playing. There's gonna be some other ones in the future for sure. Overall though, I'm gonna give Kameo Elements of Power a Kameo made the list! Hell, that one NPC that I talked to for like a minute made it too! That long fucker handsome! Out of 10. This is a good game that had the potential to be a great game, but just falls short in several areas. The problems that I had with this game could have been fixed with a sequel, and apparently they were working on one. But unfortunately, that was actually cancelled due to the apparently poor sales of this original. Not only that, but Microsoft started to push Rare into developing games for the Kinect, which of course became the Dark Ages of Rare. I doubt we'll ever see a sequel, but I'm glad we still have this original with fun ideas, solid music, and cool characters to play as. That'll be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Share this around if you can, because these take a long time to make. Have you played Kameo Elements of Power? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Kameo Elements of Power made it fun to play as a fairy. Elf. But it is officially out of the backlog. Kameo Elements of Power made it fun to play as a fairy. Elf. But it is officially out of the backlog. Damn. That took longer than I thought, bro. That took way longer than I thought, dude.
Took a while, but I think it came out good.
Oh yeah, no, I think that was our best take by far, easily. Not even close. But you think I could actually talk to Finn for private for a second?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, Thor.
What do you gotta say?
Well, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you, how you doing?
Why do you ask?
Well, the whole Drucker thing. What he was saying was just disgusting.
Yeah, it was.
Did he apologize?
No, he didn't.
I don't understand why he did that.
Me neither. I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you're just having a shitty day.
Even if you're having a shit day, though, I mean, it's fucked up. So let me know if that ever happens again, alright?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
You know, I got some pretty cool news, though. I'm actually, gonna be visiting Kylo pretty soon.
Really? Well, that's great, man.
Yeah, it'd be nice to bring you and Niffler, but admittedly, we don't quite have the budget right now to bring multiple people places. And also, it's kind of a last second thing, if you don't mind. Sorry about that.
No, just enjoy it. I don't know, I said hi.
You know, he actually had one thing he asked me to do before I actually visited him, though, which I thought was pretty funny.
What is it?
It's to finish one certain game that he wants me to play.
What game is that?
It's actually in the drawer already. It's to this.